So the centrist media and political establishment is going nuts right now. You got the GG Joe, geriatric genocider Joe Biden, who is not going to run for a second term. And this was a long time coming for a lot of analysts. I knew that it's just around the corner. You could see him disintegrating before our very eyes, doing his interviews, doing his debates with Donald Trump. And of course, Donald Trump had his almost divine, according to the right wing, a divine situation where he was saved by God. And so this is kind of compounding this increase and division between Trump's already, lead, his lead against Biden. Now, time to reset. And the establishment has decided actually, Kamala may actually fare better, and I think that Kamala would fare better against Trump, considering that she's functional. I mean that she can string together a sentence, not confuse his wife for Vladimir Putin, or her husband for Zelensky. So we've got a situation now, but let's be very clear. There's no change in the overall ideology. There's no change in the policy. So all this excitement, in the air, all this, girl boss energy, it's not going to change anything in terms of the genocidal apparatus that is the Democratic Party. So, but in the short term, in the smaller picture, obviously Democrats are better than the Republican Party, even as evil as the Democrats are. The Republican Party are that bit more evil, if you could believe that. I mean, if it was the actions of Trump that led to this acceleration of the far right in parts of Israel. There's parts of Israeli far right contingencies that see Donald Trump as the coming of the next King Cyrus the Great. For those that don't know, King Cyrus the Great, one of my inspirations, but the far right like to appropriate him. But he was a man who believed in equality, human rights. He freed Jewish slaves from Babylon, and he also believed in the freedom of expression of religion. He believed in human rights, based even from the point of view of workers and slaves. Freed slaves, believed in general goodwill. He was what some would call the true meaning of noble. People like to, back in those days, they used to throw the word Aryan. Now, and also he's been appropriated by the far right in the Third Reich. But true meaning of Aryan is somebody who's noble, who's magnanimous, who's benefic, somebody who cares about the overall well-being of society. So this is somebody who I would consider one of the greats, of history. I would also put into that mix King Ashoka of India, when he united India and called for peace and unification of the country. But King Cyrus, number one for me. And so they see Donald Trump as the modern day version of King Cyrus the Great, even though Donald Trump is a prolific and vociferous racist. He doesn't believe in human rights in any meaningful way. He talks about these Mexican gangs as criminals. He talks about people over the border. I don't think King Cyrus the Great talked about borders in that same way. He believed in basic common humanity that we all share. So there's something lost in translation when it comes to interpreting history in this regard. But it's true. Republicans are even worse. It was because of Donald Trump's bringing of the Abrahamic Accords, the move of the Israeli embassy to Jerusalem. It's all it's all part of this movement of a culture war against the right of the Palestinian people for self-determination. And he wants Benjamin Netanyahu to get the job done as soon as possible, which means a faster genocide. Democrats don't mind the genocide either. They're funding the nations that's committing genocide. But at least they want it slower, at least to give it themselves credibility, to pat themselves on the back when they actually do say behind closed doors that Joe Biden, called Benjamin Netanyahu an arsehole. It's all just theatrics. But ultimately, nothing's really changed. You've seen screenshots of Kamala Harris, at the podium at AIPAC. AIPAC, this lobbying group, which is openly corrupt insofar that they boast about every candidate they support has won their respective primary or respective political position, which is basically, to summarize, they're openly admitting their own corruption, because we like to think that people are voted in based on the policies that they bring to the table, but no, actually, campaign funding is a huge aspect to it. In fact, it's a bigger aspect. If you can put out advertisements and attack your opponents, but also have full control of the airwaves, then you can have a bigger share of the awareness and perception in the minds of people, and you can more likely win, politically speaking. So Kamala Harris is not going to change anything. She's not going to move the needle. She's not going to, bring about the change that we desperately need. Better than Trump, yes, and there's no even certainty that she'll even win against Trump. If I were to advise her, strategically speaking, I would say be harder on Israel, talk about withdrawing and actually initiate withdrawing arms, so that will bring in some of the younger vote. Talk about abortion rights being taken away. Attack Trump on his lack of his actual criminality, the fact that he's been indicted, he's been impeached twice. Attack. That's what I would go for. And I don't particularly care for attacks, but when you're against the king of attacks, you got to go hard. You got to attack his personality, his character, and also stop acting like you're on a stooge for establishment. And this means having courage. Start talking about withdrawing arms from, Israel, or at least your usual amount of arms, and have an acknowledgement of an International Court of Justice. But yeah, things are not looking too good for any one of us who has a conscience, who believes in equality and progress of the human spirit, of the dignity of humankind. We may have 4 years of whoever is in power, or 5 years, and then maybe some change. On the way, we might see acceleration of climate change. Who knows? Things are not looking good in the short term. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, there's no real change right now. It's good that we don't have Joe Biden, and there are some reports that show that Trump actually wanted to be against Biden, even though Nigel Farage, I don't know why he's talking. In my next video will be on the lack of credibility that Nigel Farage, whoever doesn't know, Nigel Farage is a right-wing pundit turned MP in the UK. He has no credibility. He has no right to be in politics. But more on this in the future. Nigel Farage said that Kamala Harris is better against Trump. No, better for Trump. That's not true. Kamala Harris has a lot more going for her, and she's also not falling apart. And the Liberals can appropriate all the social justice. The fact that she's African American, part African American, part Indian American. and talk about all these different social justice issues that they use to as a smokescreen to justify the consensus and the manufacturing consent with regards to the establishment. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That'd be very much appreciated. Thank you.